The End by Kylee Conrad, as read by Jennifer Speake. What superpower did you wish for as a kid? Was it super speed or super strength? How about laser beam eyes or the ability to fly? For me? Oh, I wanted to read people's minds and move objects with the power of thought alone. But as with many childhood dreams, the adulthood reality just doesn't live up. It wasn't always like this. Sometimes I wish they hadn't pulled me from the water. I was already dead. Almost. An eternity in an icy abyss seems so much easier still, but that's not how I go. It is how Maggie Tunsmith of Bergen County, New Jersey dies, however. Well, how do I know that, you ask? I made the mistake of rubbing elbows with her on the bus, and now I know one day in the near future poor Maggie will throw herself from the George Washington Bridge into the Hudson, and there's not a thing you or I or anyone else can do about it. So, yeah. Superpowers aren't all they're cracked up to be. As you might imagine, I try to avoid human interaction as much as possible, and you would too if you were in my predicament. There are only 2 people in my life aware of my gift, and that's too many if you ask me. But my secret is probably safe, as one person is my only cousin Brax, who has a wicked stutter in public and is considered a freak in his own right, and the other is mostly senile, blind as a bat, and confined to the old folks' home where I work as a night janitor. Her name is Lapita. She's 87. Oh, I know what you're thinking right now. And the answer is complications from a heart failure a week after she turns 89. And no, I didn't tell her, you sick fuck. In case you're also wondering about Brax's demise, sorry to disappoint you. That's one fate I don't know, and I don't care to find out. Oh, not for his lack of trying to convince me to slip him some skin or give him a high five, cuz. Thankfully, he respects my boundaries. But I suspect he truly doesn't want to know the details of his death. Nobody really does. Sure, you might say you want to know or you believe you can handle it, but you don't, and you can't. Trust me. As far as proof, I'm not just a wacko off my meds or worse, an attention-seeking psycho. The only proof I can offer you is to keep an eye out for Maggie Tunsmith's obituary in the Newark Star. Should be any day now. Knowing the time and way in which your loved ones pass on doesn't make their inevitable ends any easier as well. If anything, it's worse. Every second that ticks by until the last, you are aware that's one less second out of X amount of seconds they have remaining. The grim countdown becomes all-consuming and overshadows any sort of meaningful final moment. All this while they are either blissfully unaware they're about to drop dead or desperately pleading with you or God to please help them, save them, because they don't want to die. And before you storm in on your high horse and say anything, I've tried. Believe me. I've tried to stop it from happening so many times for so many people. So far, it's Death Visions 485. Me? 0. When it's your time, it's your time. Oh, and I can tell you when that is. Well, that's why I like working at the old folks' home. They are all keenly aware that they will die, some sooner rather than later, and most are okay with it. If they aren't, it's usually because the dementia has them thinking they're still 24 and the year is 1965. I'd also argue that some of the old bastards are too okay with dying, on account that there's a group of them running a death pool, placing bets with each other on who will be the next to croak and when. And let me tell you, Lapita is a real wise guy with the odds. She never loses. Wink. Call me a cheater if you want, I don't care. She doesn't have a lot of time left, let the old bat have some fun. Mercifully for me and for them, the old folks mostly go out in their sleep or in a morphine stupor and just slip away. If you take away the pain, it seems people aren't really afraid of the dying. They're actually afraid of being alone. As troubling as people's death notes beaming into my brain when I shake their hands is, it's when I'm not shown the end. Rather, the vision of their future goes on and on. Far longer than anyone they love, beyond Earthlings as we know them, to a time when galaxies collide, and farther still. On and on until there's only them and the eternal void before it all starts again. It's when I have to pull away before I'm shown their ending that my ability truly scares me. This is the only thing I see when I look for my own ending. Still wish you had superpowers now? So let me ask you one final question. Is it better to carry on with the weight of knowing everyone you meet and your own expiration date? Or trying to keep your will to live knowing you don't have one?